Hey everybody, this is Stephen the Medium coming to you from beautiful Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, whatever you celebrate. I hope you're celebrating with your loved ones and being healthy and safe and having a great time. So the reason why I'm here is I wanted to bring up a question that every person brings up to me. And the question that I am proposing to you is, what is the real scoop on signs? Now, I don't mean signs that you're driving down a country road and it says in a half a mile, stop for Aunt Melba's peach pies. I mean signs, even though that sounds good, I mean signs that we get from our loved ones in spirit. So now listen, I haven't been doing this a long time, as a lot of you that follow me know. This is something that just came into my lap, and I've been doing, I don't know, readings like 7 years now. But the one question I get from everybody that's just reoccurring is, how come I don't get signs? What do I do to get signs from my loved ones? How come this person gets signs, I don't? Is this a sign? I just did a reading a couple of weeks ago from someone who's become a really good friend of mine. She's from Louisiana. And at the end of the Zoom call, she said to me, how come I don't hear anything from Nina? My brother hears, my sister hears, I got nothing. I already told her I was going to do this, and she makes fun of my Rhode Island accent, so we're good. And I know that's probably the worst Southern accent, but it's really what everybody asks me. I don't think I did a bad job either. And I laughed when she said that, and I actually gave it back to her. And I'm like, listen, so here's the scoop on signs. So now if you go on the internet, you will, if you post or ask the question on Google or Yahoo, whatever, what are the signs? You'll get like the top 10 signs. You'll always get the coins coming to you, cardinals, blue jays, birds, feathers, dreams, smells, hearing someone's name, all of those, which are beautiful signs and they're legitimate signs. They're great, great signs. But that's not the only signs that Spirit sends us. And really, let me just say, it's never ever about, am I getting signs? Does somebody else get more signs? So let me just answer that question. Every single one of you that are listening to me, now listen, bring it in close, gets signs from your loved ones who have crossed. Every day, every single one of you. That's not the problem. The problem is you. So listen, that's the end of my recording. No, I'm just kidding. Really, the problem is every one of us that are not getting the signs. The signs are coming, you're just not getting them. And it really is all about one word, connection. First of all, you cannot be in the past or future sort of place. You can't be thinking about, driving home and getting milk or bread, or thinking about, if you're going to call this person for a second date. Signs are not going to happen then. They just are not. You're not on the same frequency as your loved ones. If you're in the present lane, you know what's happening, you're observing, you're seeing what's going on, you're knowing exactly what's happening now, that's when you're going to see signs. But it's more than that. Spirit sends us, as I mentioned before, they can drop a dime on the kitchen counter that wasn't there a second ago, and you walk back in and there's a dime there. That's Spirit. They're amazing. They can do that. And they can do so many other things. They can make clouds appear like angels, or they can make clouds appear of a name, or whatever it may be. But they also do so much more, and it's all about connection. It's all about our brains and getting them in sort of the same energy sort of status that they're in, because they don't have words, right? They can't speak. They can just use energy. That's around a different frequency. If we can align our minds to get on that frequency, you will see so many more signs. So I thought, one of the best ways I can show you is by showing you an example, something that happened to me that you're probably never gonna connect when you see this, but just watch this. So I'm going to show you a video, and let me put the video on, and then I'll come back and explain to you what happened and what I got as a most beautiful sign from my dad, who I lost when I was 8 years old from suicide. So hold on.
That's an interesting name, Brian of Brian. Is that an Irish name?
Brian Bannigan, Larry.
Brian Bannigan, Larry.
Very Irish.
Very, very Irish. Where are you from, Brian?
Originally from Providence, Rhode Island.
Providence, Rhode Island. Yep.
I grew up
Okay, so hopefully you saw that. So a couple of nights ago, I am watching Match Game. This is from the 1970s. And I just happened to put this episode on and I kept it on and I'm watching it. And as soon as this contestant says, when Gene asks her where you're from, and she says Providence, Rhode Island, my antenna went up thinking, Providence, Rhode Island, that's where my whole family, my mom and my dad. And of course, I thought immediately at my dad because he's been gone for so long and I'm always wanting signs from him. So as soon as I heard Providence, Rhode Island, I started tuning in and watch what happened.
First round.
B, please.
All right. Brian wants B. B for Brian.
What is
Milton
it?
said, I went to a doctor who is so expensive. They need a little more rehearsal too, don't they? One more time. Milton said, I went to a doctor who is so expensive. All right, good. Getting better, yeah. For $25, all he did was send me a blank. A blank.
So I hear the question and I'm running through my mind what I may answer, but nothing's connecting, but I'm just waiting. So watch. Oh, and by the way, once I heard Providence, I said to my husband Elix, who was laying next to me, bringing up Providence and saying, my dad, I bet you that's my dad. So watch.
A blank.
A bill.
Send me a bill. Good. I don't know why. It seems to be the correct answer, the logical answer. It is obviously. It is obviously good. Very good. John, will come to Brian. Brett.
He sure didn't send a check. He sent a bill.
Oh.
Then she says, a bill. My dad's name, Bill. Billy, William. So I look at Elix and said, oh my God, I knew it, Bill. It's my dad giving me a message. So his name he went by Billy, but there was a lot of people that called him William. Watch Betty White. She's the last to answer.
What do you say to that, Charles?
He's just.
Oh, there's another one. Hey, this is very legal for a first rounder, Brian. I'll let her down, Richard. She's got a good Irish
I love her
name.
name.
Yeah. Brian.
You're pretty.
Really?
My name's Bill.
You're not gonna let her down, are you?
Oh, I wouldn't let her down. I wouldn't let him down either, though. Well, William.
What? Yay for Betty White. So what's the reason she couldn't just say Bill? She said William, which was my dad's name, changing it from not just an answer of Bill, like something that you write a bill, but actually switching it also just as an affirmation for me, William, that it was actually a name. Yes, that's exactly how it works, and it happens all the time. And for a split second, I would have lost that. Even if I watched the whole episode, if I didn't have my antenna raised when I heard Providence, Rhode Island, it wouldn't have connected. It just wouldn't have connected. I would have just kept watching it. It said Bill, and maybe at the end I would have said, oh, you said William, but there'd be no other kind of reference to it, starting from Providence, where my dad grew up, to Bill, and to William. Spirit, in this case my father, knew I would put that show on. He knew I'd watch that. That's what it's all about. And that's why I talk about connection, is that you have to be in the present. I couldn't be thinking about what I'm doing tomorrow when I was watching that show, or the next week, or thinking about bills, or things I'd have to pay, or whatever it is, like meals. You can't be in that place, and we always are, and that's the problem. We're never in the present because we've got so much going on with phones and technology. I could be watching that, and as soon as I heard Providence, Rhode Island, I could have went to my phone for a second, still listening, but paying attention to the phone, I would have missed the message. A message that my dad set up so that I would know. And as a matter of fact, when I heard William, I smiled and said, thank you, Dad. And I got goose pimples throughout my body. That was his energy. That was his spirit going right through my body, just to confirm that it was him. The more you find them, the more you connect them, the more signs you get. And as much as I love getting cardinals and coins and dreams and all of that, Watch for the subtle signs. That's really where it is. There's so many things that Spirit's so smart that they can figure out and give us. You know, something like getting in the car and putting your radio on and hearing a song that hasn't been on for a long time that reminds you of mom, dad, brother, sister, whoever it is. You know, that's pretty nifty the way they do that. But there's just so many signs. It's not about I don't get signs. It's just about I'm not seeing signs. I'm not connecting signs. So I hope that makes sense. I just wanted to share that with you. And again, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and don't be upset with me because I probably completely messed up that Southern accent. But I tried, right? But I love my girl from the South. So Happy New Year. Bye.